Have you ever felt like your entire life was a silent battle? And yet, somehow, you were still standing? If so, this message is not an accident. Welcome to the chosen path. Today you're going to discover truths that were hidden from you until now. We're diving deep into the signs, the struggles, and the final shift that proves heaven has declared your victory. This isn't just another message, it's a divine confirmation. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just be encouraged. You'll be awakened. From the very beginning, you've carried something different within you. Even when no one could see it, you could feel it. A quiet voice in your soul always whispered, "You're not like the rest." It wasn't pride, it was purpose. You didn't ask to be chosen, but you were. And that invisible mark on your spirit has always set you apart. You didn't have a normal path because you weren't meant for a normal life. The heartbreaks, the closed doors, the lonely nights, none of it was random. Every pain had a purpose, every delay had direction. Heaven wasn't punishing you, it was preparing you for something your enemies can't touch. People may have misunderstood you, laughed at your dreams, told you to be more realistic, but that's because they didn't see what God placed inside you. The chosen ones often walk alone before they rise in front of everyone. Your uniqueness was never a weakness, it was divine strategy. You've always had a sense that you were meant for more. Not just success, but significance. And now, the calling on your life is beginning to echo louder. You can't ignore it anymore. The world may have tried to define you by your failures, but heaven already sealed your destiny. This is the season where the hidden will be revealed, where the misunderstood will be honored, where the rejected will be elevated. You weren't marked to suffer, you were marked to lead, and everything that tried to break you will now become proof that you were born chosen. You fought hard, you pushed through pain, betrayal, fear, and still, you felt like you were losing. But what you didn't see was that the battle was never in your hands to begin with. Heaven had already gone before you. The war was being fought in the unseen. While you wept, angels were warring. You weren't weak for crying, you weren't faithless for being tired. The weight you carried wasn't yours, it was spiritual. That's why it felt so heavy. But what the enemy didn't realize is that your endurance was your warfare. Every time you refused to give up, you gained ground. The silence you experienced wasn't absence, it was strategy. God doesn't always speak during the storm. Sometimes he fights for you while you rest in confusion. And now that the storm is clearing, you'll see what he was building in the chaos, your comeback. This wasn't about proving yourself to people. It was about showing your spirit you were stronger than you knew. The enemy threw everything he had at you, your mind, your finances, your identity. But nothing worked. Why? Because chosen ones don't fall, they rise. You don't need to fight anymore, not like before. Now you walk in authority, you don't react, you command. The battle is over because the victory was always yours. And from this moment forward, you'll no longer fight for survival. You'll move in dominion. There were moments when you begged for answers. You questioned why certain things didn't happen when you prayed so hard. You saw others succeed while you waited in silence. But heaven wasn't ignoring you. It was shielding you from what you couldn't see. The delays you cursed were actually layers of protection around your destiny. Sometimes we think we're ready, but what we want can destroy us if it comes too soon. God wasn't being cruel, he was being careful with you. He saw the traps hidden behind what looked like blessings. He saw the betrayal that would have broken you. So he said, "Not yet," and covered you in mercy. You cried over closed doors that would have led to cages. You mourned the loss of people who were never meant to stay. It hurt, yes, but it didn't harm. Heaven blocked what looked beautiful on the outside, but would have poisoned your purpose from within. You were being rescued, not rejected. The delays made you stronger. They taught you patience. They forced you to depend on faith when nothing made sense. And now that you've endured the wilderness, you're ready for the promise. What once looked like punishment now looks like precision. Divine timing doesn't miss. This is your confirmation. Nothing was wasted. Not a second, not a season. Heaven never forgot you. It was setting you up in silence. Now the doors that open will not harm. They will honor. And what was delayed will return with double portion. This is restoration on heaven's schedule. The spiritual attacks didn't stop because you were weak. They came because you were powerful. The enemy saw your calling before you did. That's why he targeted your peace, your relationships, your identity. But what he didn't know was that every blow only sharpened your sword. You've been through warfare that nobody saw. Attacks that didn't leave bruises but broke your spirit. Nights where you thought you wouldn't make it. Days where giving up felt easier. But somehow you rose because there was something holy inside of you that hell couldn't touch. And now it's over. The spiritual contract the enemy tried to place over your life has been canceled. The curse has been broken. The generational patterns are ending with you. This isn't just survival anymore. This is authority. This is spiritual justice. Heaven stepped in and made the final move. You're not running from attacks anymore. You're confronting them with power. You know who you are now. And that changes everything. Your light is no longer hidden. Your voice is no longer muted. The darkness that tried to drown you now trembles when you speak. This is the season where you walk in boldness. You speak and mountains move. You pray and chains fall. The enemy has been defeated, not by your strength, but by the one who chose you. And now, your life becomes proof that nothing formed against you shall prosper. Not now, not ever. There are moments when it feels like the world has forgotten you, like your efforts go unnoticed, your prayers unanswered. But in the unseen realm, something powerful is happening. Your name is being spoken in heavenly places. There are divine conversations happening about you that no one on earth is aware of. And when heaven speaks your name, the earth must respond. What you've built in silence is being honored in eternity. Your obedience in the dark is producing favor in the light. God is aligning people, opportunities, and miracles in your direction, all because you remained faithful when no one was watching. Your time of being overlooked has expired. Now, heaven is highlighting you. You won't need to fight for recognition. You won't need to prove yourself. Doors will open that you didn't knock on. Rooms will call your name before you even arrive. That's what happens when you're chosen. The same ones who ignored you will witness your elevation and wonder how it happened so fast. But this isn't about fame or applause. This is about assignment. You're being lifted because there's work to do. There's healing to release. There's light to spread. The platform that's forming beneath your feet is not for ego. It's for impact. And heaven is trusting you with influence. So don't be surprised when strangers start blessing you. When mentors appear. When support floods in. That's not coincidence. That's divine echo. Heaven has spoken. And when heaven speaks, creation aligns. You're not forgotten. You've been summoned. You've walked through a long stretch of stillness. A season where your voice felt small, your presence overlooked, your efforts ignored. But the silence was never punishment. It was a sacred cocoon. It was heaven's way of transforming you without outside interference. And now that silence is breaking. This is the unveiling, the time where the hidden becomes seen. What you built in the dark will now shine in the light. Your growth wasn't for nothing. The world is about to witness the version of you that was forged in fire and refined in solitude. There is no more hiding. People won't recognize you, not because you've changed your face, but because you've changed your frequency. You now walk with authority, speak with purpose, and move with power. The hesitation is gone. The doubt is buried. You've been through too much to stay silent. You're not the same person who walked into the storm. You've gained wisdom. You've developed spiritual stamina. You've discovered who you truly are, and now it's time to release that into the world. The gifts inside you were never meant to stay dormant. This is your emergence. Heaven says, speak boldly, walk fully, shine unapologetically. The season of silence is over. You will no longer suppress your brilliance to make others comfortable. You've earned your voice. You've earned your light. And now the world will finally hear and see who you were born to be. Everything you lost, every dream that died, every relationship that fell apart, every opportunity that slipped through your hands, none of it went unnoticed. Heaven saw it all. Every tear you cried became a seed in the spiritual ground. And now harvest is coming. But not just restoration, compensation. What you're about to receive will go beyond what you lost. You didn't suffer in vain. The pain built your strength, but the loss built your reward. God doesn't just give back what was taken. He multiplies it. You're entering a season where favor will chase you, where provision will surprise you, and where what was withheld will come rushing back in greater form. People will assume you got lucky. They'll think it happened overnight, but they didn't see the crushing. They didn't witness the discipline it took to stay faithful while you had nothing. That faith is what triggered heaven's release. You waited, you endured, and now it's time to receive. This is not about money alone. This is emotional healing, mental clarity, unexpected peace, divine connections, open doors, what the enemy meant to use to destroy you. God is now using as proof that you are favored beyond understanding. You're not just being paid back. You're being elevated. Don't resist it. Don't feel guilty about it. You've already paid the price in the form of obedience and endurance. This compensation isn't a handout. It's a spiritual inheritance. And no force on earth can stop what heaven has released for you. It's already in motion. Just walk in it. You're about to step into places your resume didn't earn, into conversations your credentials didn't open, into circles you never imagined entering. And yet, you'll be welcomed, honored, even celebrated. Why? Because this isn't about man's approval, this is about heaven's assignment. When you're chosen, access is granted by favor, not formula. God is placing your name on the hearts of people with influence. You won't need to force your way in. You won't have to pretend or compete. What's coming was reserved for you. And while others are confused by your rise, heaven will be smiling, because this has always been the plan. You'll sit at tables where you once only dreamed of serving. You'll speak where you once only listened. You'll lead in places where you used to follow. This is divine positioning. Not for pride, but for purpose. You are the answer to a need someone powerful has been praying for. And when imposter syndrome tries to whisper, "You don't belong here," silence it with truth. You're not here by chance. You're here by calling. You're not lucky. You're assigned. What you carry is more important than any title. Your presence is your qualification. So walk in confidence, speak with clarity, move with peace. The doors that are opening are not tests. They are testimonies. Heaven trusted you to represent light in dark places, and now that you've been elevated, stay rooted in grace, because what's ahead is not a promotion, it's a platform. For too long you've dimmed your light to make others comfortable. You've played small, lowered your voice, and held back your truth so you wouldn't be misunderstood or judged. But heaven never designed you to be invisible. The light within you was meant to shine, and no matter how hard the world tried to cover it, the time has come. It can't be hidden anymore. You weren't created to blend in. You carry a frequency that disrupts darkness, a presence that awakens purpose. That's why you made people uncomfortable without even trying. But now, you no longer need their permission to be who God called you to be. You've outgrown the need to be accepted by those who couldn't handle your light. This next chapter requires your full brilliance, not arrogance, authenticity. You are a carrier of divine fire, and the moment you stop shrinking, the world around you shifts. Lives change, atmospheres respond, not because you're trying to impress, but because you're aligned with your assignment. Let go of the fear of being too much. You were never too much. You were just around people who thought too small. Your light is not a threat. It's a signal. It tells others that freedom is possible. Healing is real. Purpose is alive. The right ones will find you when you finally stand in your truth. So this is your permission. Be seen, be heard, be radiant. Heaven has already validated you. The hiding season is over. The unveiling has begun. Shine without shame, because your light isn't just for you. It's for the ones still trapped in darkness, waiting for someone like you to show them the way. You've endured storms that should have broken you. You've survived battles that others didn't make it through, and through it all, you kept going. You didn't see the crown forming above your head, but heaven did. And now, everything you've endured was for this, your coronation moment. The announcement has been made. You're stepping into divine authority. This isn't the beginning of a reward. It's the recognition of your resilience. You didn't arrive here by chance. You were shaped by fire, tested by time, and carried by grace. Every scar is proof that you were prepared, and now the throne that once felt distant is being placed beneath your feet. You're not being elevated for applause. You're being crowned for assignment. You carry wisdom forged in silence, power formed in pain. Heaven is not just giving you a platform. It's giving you the mantle of leadership. The world may see a rise, but God sees a vessel finally ready. This moment isn't about ego, it's about legacy. You're not here to just wear a crown, you're here to change generations, to speak truth, to lead with humility, to restore what was broken. This is what the battle was for, not comfort, but calling. Not status, but spiritual significance. So lift your head, stand in authority. Heaven has declared your victory, the battle is over, the time is now. This is your coronation, and no one can take away what God has placed upon you. Walk boldly, chosen one, the crown fits because it was always yours. And now if your spirit is still here, if you felt something shift deep inside you while listening, then you already know this message wasn't just words, it was a confirmation, a divine reminder, a royal awakening. You are not broken, you are not behind, you are not forgotten. You are chosen, you are called, and you are walking the path heaven carved just for you. So let me ask you, what did you hear today that spoke directly to your soul? What battle are you finally ready to release? I want to know what resonated with you. Go to the comments and share your truth. Speak boldly, this is a space for the chosen. And if you made it to the end of this journey, type the chosen path in the comments. So I know you're one of us, one of the ones who stayed, listened, and received. Your path is just beginning. The battle is over, and the crown is already waiting. Welcome to your victory.